Hello and welcome back to Factorio Fixit. My name's NegativeRoot and let's get cracking. Today we're playing the second old save of mine that we found. This is going to be interesting. This is obviously a 6 hour 50 minute factory, 10 minutes off being 7 hours, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how I've gone. Now, I know that in between save 1 and save 2 I spent a bit of time actually looking up how to play the damn game, and that included watching a fair few Let's Plays. In the early days I was it was actually the Winter Owl, a fellow by the name of Matt, does a lot of good KSP stuff. He's very casual LPer. He was the one that introduced me to the game. I was actually watching some of his KSP stuff and saw this Factorio game and was like, you like make factories and put things on conveyor belts? What is this? Tell me more. Next minute I'd bought the game. So this save was actually 2 days after save 1. So if you watched episode 100, yeah, this save was actually saved 2 days afterwards. So it's as you can see, that's a lot of time to spend in the game in the course of 2 days, or 10 hours, yeah, over the course of 2 days. So yeah, let's get cracking. This is yeah, still played in 9.8, so it's a while ago. Let's turn it on. So you can instantly see that I'm up to oil in this one. I've got oil processing up and running, and I've got plastics. Oh my god. Crude oil is doing well. You'll notice that I have no biters again. I was afraid of biters. Now, this is I reckon it's Stuff Plus that had me doing this. He was running, I reckon, underground belts everywhere. I remember it being a British kid, so I'm thinking that's Stuff Plus. Someone at the time that I was watching was doing like underground belts everywhere, and I was like, yeah, I want to build like that. That looks cool. And then I realised how much of a waste of resources it was, and then I stopped that. So yeah, this is obviously 9 hours. Oh, sorry, 7 hours. It's much more complicated. Let's move down here and have a look. Now, we've got, you can see that the main bus idea is starting to emerge in my Let's Play. Sorry, in my play style. You can see that I've got this central smelting area. The raw resources are being brought in here, they're being smelted, and they're being distributed throughout the factory. Now you notice that I'm sticking it all onto one belt again, which is a mistake that I'll realise in coming factories. I'll just get some lights crafting, and that will allow me to light the place up. You can see that I'm running underground belts everywhere. This is a pure belt. Sorry, this is a pure iron plate line coming down here and through the factory. Now down here you'll notice that I'm putting copper cable onto a belt. Still haven't worked that one out before you know, getting my 2 science builds sorted and everything shipped off to the assemblers for the science packs. Now I just want to change something here. It seems I have a ton of transport belt. That is inconvenient. So what I'll do is just do this here. Here we go. Actually, what I could do, right? To go. So that's a lot nicer. Now, this is obviously a bit better thought out. I've got things running in more of a straighter line, but you can see that the central bus isn't really going to support much. It's not really going to be able to carry a huge factory, and that's just something that I realised when I start to get into you know, bigger and more complicated designs. Now, I've got my lights, so I'll throw down a few lights so you guys can see. I've got pipe automated, good plan. When you're trying to do oil, it always takes tons and tons of pipe to get that sorted. Come over here. Now I reckon I'm playing on pretty high, or pretty easy settings, I should say. Like, yeah, you can see that per patch, you know, I've got 3K, which when you hover over these, you know, 148K. That's a huge amount of resources that can potentially be thrown through my system. Now over here, this is all set up to be expandable, so I can expand it. The plan here is eventually to put electric smelters there. This is a bit of a little, well, it's a little citadel really, a little place where I can retreat if I ever get attacked, which with biter settings such as that, no, that's not a biter. Biter settings such as that I think is unlikely, but it's more trying to practice and get the thing right. So here you can see that I've got this being automated, and what I can also do is start to do this. So I can throw everything around on the belt, and if I put a fast inserter there, it'll do it quickly. So a bit of extra burst if it is ever needed, where we can get plenty of ammunition on the belt. You can start to see how I'm progressing through the game. This, it's obviously not going to support that much. So with that in mind, what we might try and do is completely alter the system. Yep, okay. So this I'm doing on the fly. I haven't done any planning here, so I'll do my best to keep up the commentary. That's fine. That's fine. This is an issue. So you can see where mixing the belts just makes things harder. Now, what I might do, right, is instead of doing it like that, just pick all this up, okay, and I'll get some red long-handed inserters. I never used to like long-handed inserters, but now I'm like, hey, party on. Like, you can do so much with them. They're handy, and I've since, yeah, I've changed my mind on them. I think they're useful, and if you need them, use them. They're in the game for a reason, you know. Okay, so that's that sorted. There we go. I'll just speed that up a little bit. Oh dear. So you can see here is another example of ouch. Another example of me trying to be really tricky and have multiple things on the same belt, which, yeah, it just took me time to work out that it made things harder than it needed to be. And when you're building a factory and things are getting more complicated, you want it to be as easy as possible, really. You don't want to be screwing around and being like, well, this has only got this and this on it, so I've got to do it this way because I've hemmed myself in. And that's all adding things to belts is. It's just making it harder on yourself. You're adding in a condition for yourself to build. It's like being like, okay, well, I've got, for example, all this space to build in. I'll put down this and then, be running belts around, and then when you realize this is a bad spot, instead of picking it up and moving it one space over and being like, well, now it works better. I've seen people try and run belts so that you can get it to work in the original spot, and this solution is much inferior to just picking up the damn thing and moving it. Thinking outside the box and realizing that you don't have to exist within the boundaries that you've set for yourself. Once you realize that, it becomes a lot easier. At least in my opinion, I think it does. So we need to get iron down here, and we also need to get gear wheels, which is we can do it. It's just a question of how are we going to. Now, okay, so what I need to do is get it over here and run it down here, I'm thinking. Maybe. Or do I? Yeah, I think this is a better solution, actually. You can see I'm using red belts everywhere. It's probably a bit excessive, really. You don't need that many red belts. Okay, that's fine. We'll just continue down here. Spin this around. Do that there. I'm glad that I got over my little obsession with underground belts. That's a very expensive way to build a factory. Okay, pick that up there. Pick that up there. Wonderful. Now this here we can solve very easily. Whoops, whoops. Here we go. Job done. Yep, so that all works. Outstanding. You can see that this is back when we had the old stack sizes. You know, 64 to a stack instead of 50, which to me makes a lot more sense. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, throw that down there. Okay, that's all done. So that's all sorted. So there you go. I've corrected that for the system. Now, here is another example of where I actually need to sort things out. Bugger. If I'm to get that off there, let's just pack the belt for starters. Because I like doing that. It looks pretty when it starts to even itself out. So that's that done. Now this here is planned to be something, or was something, and I picked it up, or whatever. Get rid of it. Okay. So that is all fine. I've got something jamming the belt there. Right. Now here I need to get copper up onto this line. So that is easy enough. I'm just going to cheese this up here. Everyone loves a bit of cheese. There we go, job done. Just run along and pick all that up. Okay, so that's the beginnings of a decent. Oh, see that? My keyboard's broken. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Whoops. Now then, again, I'll just cheese this up because it's not. If I was going to be playing this factory properly for a longer period of time, I wouldn't be worrying about all of this. I would do it properly, is what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't be being really cheesy about it. I'd be, yeah, changing things so that they worked much nicer and they weren't so ugly, if I can say that. So that's that. That's picking that up. So that's fine. Because you notice that down here nothing needs iron. We've effectively hit the point in which it's no longer required. So we'll do this and we'll do this, right? Because we can punch through more materials. Actually, fucking nope, can't get it. Oh, I got it. No, didn't get it. Nope, not quite. Haha, got it. You can see I'm picking up half the belt. Oh yeah. Yeah, we should be alright. There we go. So we've got that down now. So what we can do is just send this directly into our copper cable production, right? That is coming over here. Oh, that's gear wheels. So I need to hook this up before I forget. Yep, so that's that done. We'll bring this down and around. There it is. Okay, that's perfect. Ideally, I'd like to balance these and then shoot them off to wherever they're going. But beggars can't be choosers. So, here we go. So we'll come to here. Yep, that's all done. This is before I worked out how awesome splitters were. And yeah, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here, because you know, that does the same thing and everything. So let's run with that, shall we? You can see in this factory that I'm only up to green science, and I remember the charge to blue science was just painful. I remember it. It took me so long to work out. I just couldn't get it. I did in the end, I must say. I did in the end, but it did take me a very long time to work out blue science. Green science became, yeah, quite easy for me. You can see that this is a quite effective green science factory. And I know that because I could add more assemblers. Oh shit, stop. So you can see here, those belts aren't right. So I need something that looks like that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just grab one more splitter. Why not? Let's get amongst it. Splitter heaven. This is definitely not one of my factories. Not enough splitters. Let's add more. Okay, there we go. Problem solved. And what else do we need to do? I think we've got pretty much covered. You know, the circuit making operation is quite poor. In time, you know, we can work on that and get it better. Just oh, whoops. Yeah, I don't want to rebalance that because that's going to ruin all of that. And what else we got here? So this right here, this factory, is right on the cusp of red circuits and blue science. It just needs a little bit more work, and well, blue science is the next thing. You'll notice here on the research that we've just finished automated construction, which means that logistics bots are probably the next thing. Automobilism is right up there. Whether you do modules or not, that's the one I'm looking for. You know, it's neither here nor there. But either way, you're going to need to use these plastic bits to make your red circuits. And generally, red circuits are when you find out that your green circuits are bad. That's normally the point in which you find out, yeah, your green circuit production is less than par, or is lackluster, and you need more. So, you know, I think that in this factory I would have discovered that my green circuits, I've only got 2 assemblers down there building them, and it would have been very, very hard to keep them at max. I would need tons more copper cable assemblers. I would need tons of belt to actually get it up or get the plastic down. You know, it's just yeah, this factory is fraught with problems, and they're all right on the horizon. So it would be, yeah, a lot of fun to play this. I'm not going to, because I think that I've since moved on. You can see that I've got this set up so that it's ready for blue and purple science. You know, for every factory I built, I was always planning to get to the end game. I just never did it, and it was actually funny because it was my very, very first Let's Play that I made Rocket Defense, and that was the first time I'd ever made Rocket Defense. I hadn't finished the game before actually doing a Let's Play on it, so that was nerve-wracking to say the least. When I started it, I was like, "Ooh, you know, I don't know the game." Yeah, well, I hadn't finished it at that stage, and yeah, it was concerning, but I got through it, so happy days, and haven't looked back since. Anyway, I think I might finish this video up here. I've got another 2 factories of my own to do, but if you'd like me to play yours, don't hesitate to send it through. I'd love to see it. As you can see, this is a bit more of an advanced factory than the last one, but you can see that there's problems, large problems that, yeah, they would be fun to fix. They would be. I'm just not fixing them because screw that. If you'd like to, yeah, send me your factory, I'd love to play it. Just send it through to rootnegative@gmail.com, and I will have a crack at it. See if I can, you know, help. be of some assistance and possibly give you a few ideas. Now what I'll just do here is a tricky, this is very cheeky. That's an in-one rebalancer. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Just a little bit of extra belt storage for those gear wheels. Just punch all those through and make the belts nice and full. So I look forward to oh my lord, back the truck up. How many belts? Oh my god. That's like transport belt galore. I'm going to go. I'm going to see you in the next video. I look forward to seeing you then.